Oh. Hello, good evening, and welcome to episode 18 of the British Hive Mind. Only streaming to you here live on YouTube. Still got my bands in place and la la la. And yeah, but hey, we'll carry on regardless. Hopefully, we'll get a few more watches on here, a few more subscribers on here, and yeah, promote the show, get it going further, get more people involved. Because sadly, I'm by myself at the moment, but I'm sure we'll get a guest in over the next 5-10 minutes. But I wasn't just 100% sure of what to do this episode on, really, because, you know, I had a nice weekend, did a few things, and I didn't really concentrate on the show, what the topic was and what we're going to be doing next, where we're going to be heading with this. Because we've covered quite a few topics in the previous 17 episodes. But I think the English Constitution is a huge topic. So big that it has been attacked for decades to try to sweep it under the carpet, try and brush it out of existence, try to sway the public and the population's education system so much that nobody even knows it exists. And by crikey, they were blooming close to getting that way. Another couple of generations, and I'm afraid the youth would not have a clue what the Constitution was. People even my age have no idea what the Constitution is. They know that America's got a Constitution because it's got the First and the Second Amendments, and they're like hot topics, this, that, and the other. And they have it in one handy document. Well, they've got the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, whereas we've got the Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights, and various other documents that guarantee our rights and our liberties and give us the way to address the problem if a problem occurs. Now, like I said, what really got me involved and interested in the Constitution after I turned away from it, after I turned away from politics completely, because like a lot of people out there, I was seeing nothing good being done. I was only seeing the bad side. I was only seeing the awful politics of politics. And when was the last time a politician ever did anything good for the British population? I can't fucking think of one. But yeah, was it last year? Yeah, sometime last year. I was looking through my Facebook and things like that, and yeah, stumbled upon the Dragons. And their knowledge of the Constitution really impressed me. And the fact that the Constitution is there, in stone, in perpetuity, forever and ever, amen. And the fact that it's the corporate elite, the political elite, the deep state that are trouncing it, that are brushing it under the carpet, that are subverting it in every way, shape, and form they possibly can. Telling people that, it doesn't exist. Britain doesn't have a constitution. Or not even teaching it in school. You know, you go to school, you should be learning about the law of the land. You should be learning about the law. You should be learning about civics. You should be learning about politics and how freaking countries run. You should be learning this from a young age. But schools, no, all they want to do is control your children. Control them. Program them. This is what you think. This is how you think. This is why you think. You don't get to choose. So, yeah, they've literally uneducated it out of the system. Which, to go to such lengths to get rid of something, you can inherently see its value. if somebody's trying their hardest to get rid of it, to make sure nobody knows about it, to undermine and subvert it, it starts to tick the cogs, and you start to think, then this must be important. And it is the most important document in British history. Yeah, just let that sink in for a moment, because it is. The Constitution is the foundation of our nation. It's the foundation of our laws. It's the foundation of our legal system. It's the foundation of our political system. And without it, we are, well, I think it's not blatantly obvious to see, but it's getting more and more obvious to see, once you look into it and research it, that we are no longer a constitutional monarchy. The monarch has no power, is no longer really the head of state of this country. She's a European citizen and has to hold oaths to Europe. I think that was done in the Lisbon Treaty. So that we don't have a monarchy. We've just got a puppet, a figurehead, something to attract the tourists, supposedly. That's what the EU wanted, and that's what the EU fucking got. So we don't have a constitutional monarchy. The constitution has been subverted to a point now where it is non-existent. I don't like to say it like that, but the people's awareness and the people's perception of it has gone completely asquiff, or completely gone. Completely. They don't even understand it, what it is, or what it's there. They might know its name, but they don't know what it means. They don't know what it actually stands for. And I think we've said this over previous shows, that it takes time and effort to research things. And with the amount that the Constitution's been buried, and the amount of negative hearsay about the Constitution of, oh, it's an old document, oh, it doesn't stand up in court anymore, oh, it doesn't work, oh, it's part of ancient laws that don't matter anymore. We've got new laws now that Parliament's passed with our consent. With our consent. Yeah. It's not the right way, people. It's not the right way. And it's brought us forward to this point where the political elite, the deep state, have destroyed our political system to a point that we're now seeing the House of Lords as a useless non-entity. Now, don't forget that it was Blair who did a lot of this, Brown who did a lot of this sullying of the Lords and the Lords' status, and the dismantling of the House of Lords. Because I'm not sure if the viewers are aware of this, the House of Lords is there as a second house. Every democracy needs a second house. I will have to stamp that on some people's heads that have been like, oh, let's abolish the House of Lords. No, it needs full reformation, taking back to what it was. Because what it was a group of highly educated, highly cultured lords and barons who had a lot of power and influence in the country. That's what they had. And they were there to protect the Constitution and protect the will of the British people, to make sure that the House of Commons was only trying to pass laws that suited and fitted our Constitution. They were a way of checks and balances, a way of scrutinising the House of Commons. The House of Commons is supposed to be for the common man, working towards the ends of the common man. making sure that the common man gets a good day's wage, the common man has clean water, the common man has infrastructure and things built around them and has a job. That's what the House of Commons is there for. Whereas the House of Lords is there to oversee it, overrule it, and say, you see, this is our constitution, and this is what's protecting these people's rights. This is the way we've always had it. This is what it's supposed to be. We protect these documents. They have worked for the little man. Now, to stop a group of elites and a group of plutocrats getting into this House of Commons and sullying it and making things the way they want them, like they are doing, the House of Lords is supposed to stop them. Crush, no, you're not allowed to do that. You can't pass that law. That's not right. That doesn't hold our constitution. That is going against the rights of the British people. You cannot do that. Law not passed. Done. Hey, how it's supposed to work. But as we've seen, the political elites and the deep state have got control of the House of Commons. There is not a common man, and there's not a common person in the House of Commons that isn't controlled by the puppet masters, isn't controlled by party politics, that isn't controlled by fear of losing their job or fear of losing their reputation. And they are only working for corporate ends. They more care about their money than they more care about their people. And through the past 20, 30 years, the House of Lords has been stripped. Well, it was long before that when the House of Lords was stripped of its real power of blocking and stopping movements, motions, and laws being passed, policy being passed. Now, that happened quite some time ago, but it's been neutered, and then it's had its little, then it's had its chopped off and bits more chopped off and more power taken away, and then we'll get these rotten eggs. We'll get these rotten eggs, and we'll put the rotten eggs in the House of Lords and make the place stink. We will get, you're a career politician, are you? Yes, well, you can have a peerage. Yes. Oh, you're on the board of that company. Oh, you can have a peerage. Yes. Oh, you used to work for the EU. Oh, you can have a peerage too. Yeah, just sit in that house. You don't have to do anything apart from try not to fall asleep. And Paul tore the party line. We put you in there. You owe us one. And it's now being led like a lamb to the slaughter. The elites do not want the House of Lords. And they want it to seem like the right thing to do, to abolish the House of Lords. So let's put all the rotten eggs in there. Let's air its dirty laundry. Let's make it look really undemocratic. Yeah, let's make it look like it's not democracy. Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do a lot. And then we'll get the people to say, let's get rid of it then, and replace it with what? Exactly. An elected Senate? Taking us into what? A republic? The Republic of the UK? No, doesn't sound right to me. Let's replace it with a Senate. Yeah. So that's going to be, again, bound by party politics. Where is this leading us, people? To a first house that's bound by political correctness, that's bound by party politics, that's bound by the lobbyists and the bankers that control it. And then let's have a second house that's exactly the same. Bound by party politics, bound by the media narrative, bound by the robber barons and the rich corporate elites that control it. Do you really think that's going to be good for our democracy? No. Oh, no. That will lead us even further down the fascist path. Or by then you can even have a one-party system and have it corporate communism. Hey, that sounds like great fun. Oh, if memory serves me right. Sorry, people. I usually have a guest talking at that point whilst I'm trying to read the comments, but there's only one, and it's and is it stating that what the Queen was supposed to abdicate? Well, she's not got a decent successor. Oh, the whole freaking family needs abdicating because they have no real true right to rule. They are not the royal family of England, of Britain. They are not. They have no right to rule us. And what have they done for us, the people? When was the last time? Well, we all know. Well, the Queen has zero power. No power whatsoever. Nothing. She even has to ask for permission to go and see her gold. She is just a freaking figurehead, just a puppet dancing a pack. That is it. And she's done nothing. When was the last time she questioned a law that was going to be passed? When? She never, because she doesn't even have royal assent anymore. Parliament just uses royal assent itself, and woo, the law's in place. This is the state we're living in, people. Tyranny. Pure tyranny in a fancy democratic dress. And it's a sad, sorry state of affairs when you see the normal everyday man crying out for the democracy to be destroyed. Oh, the House of Lords is evil. It's unelected. Doesn't represent us. That's all by design. What? It was all been designed to make you feel and make you think that the House of Lords has to go. So, I'm not so sure about that last comment. I don't really understand it, but hey, it's all good. Anyways, the Constitution. Back to the Constitution. Back to us. Our civil liberties, our rights, our inalienable rights to bear arms. So we can't be run like this. We can't. This is what happens when the people don't have the right to bear arms. We can't do anything against tyranny. We're sat here going, well, what can we do? I know this is bad. I know that is bad. That is bad as well. What can we do? You can rise up. You can take our sticks, take our pitchforks, bring it militant style. We can try and change it from within. But I think I said this on Friday's show with Ollie. We've got to remember, we're going up against the British establishment. One of the most established establishments there are. One of the most powerful establishments there are. An establishment that has many tentacles in many pies in many places all over the world. We are going up against Goliath. We are going, Dave Wolf versus Goliath. That's what it is. Because they have the education system on their side, teaching students, the people that have got the time to go out and protest and march. And you'll see this through every sort of revolution, every sort of political movement. It's the students. That's why the lefties have targeted the students and the universities, because they're the ones with the time, with the energy to get their asses out there and protest on the street. Whereas you, I, others have to go out and do a hard day's work. We don't have time to go out there. Oh, wait, maybe we can go for a weekend. Have a march on Winchester instead of Westminster. Take it back to the roots of the Royals. Take it back to the roots of our democracy and really protest there. Where it doesn't fall on deaf ears, because it does. A lot of protests, a lot of marches, a lot of political action has been taking place over the past 5-10 years. And sadly, it's all fallen on deaf ears. Apart from the lefty stuff, apart from the LGBTQASI communities marches to get more rights, or the women's marches to get more rights when they've got perfectly enough frigging rights as it is. Go to a country where you don't have rights, and you'll find out that you've got a lot of rights in this country. And every time it's the FLA march, 70,000. No media coverage, nothing happened, nothing really done to stop the terrorists. Oh, and that bloody war on terrorism. It's not the war on terrorism, it's the war on freedom. Think about it this way. They've brought the terrorists here on purpose, by design, to give them the excuse to take away our freedoms. Oh, there's nasty terrorists in this country now, so we're going to have to monitor everybody's internet. Oh, there's nasty terrorists in the country now. Oh, we're going to have to put this into place. We're going to have to go into martial law. We're going to have to do this, that, and the other. It's not a war on terrorism. It's a war using terrorism to take away people's freedoms. That's a little insight for you. Right. Kind of got lost on a tangent then. Happens. Let's go back to the comments. Join us on the Pilgrims March. More civil unrest. More and more civil unrest from William Davids. More civil unrest. More civil unrest is needed, and we need non-stop civil unrest. So they can't brush it under the carpet. They can't get a day's working. They can't dodge around the problem, or dodge around it, or try to put out a false flag news story, or sacrifice one of their members. Not literally, but they probably will do. Yeah, but like Amber freaking Chuffing Rudd, we'll sacrifice her to divert the attention away from here, so we can carry on doing this. Look at this one. Look at the jingly keys. We'll do this. That's what they do. That is what they do, and it really, really gets my goat. It's a slow news day today. Let's release this one. Let's feed the public this narrative. Oh, sugar, something bad's gonna happen. Right. Where can we divert their attention? Right. Scribbles, yeah. Or Syria, yeah. We don't want you to be thinking about this. We want you to think about what we want you to think about. So, like I said, non-stop civil unrest. It's getting to the point. It's getting to that time, people. It really, really, really is. It does. It does, William. Common law is the foundation of our society. Common law. No loss, no harm, no injury. If someone's not lost anything, if somebody's not harmed in any way, or if someone's not injured, then what sort of crime has taken place? Oh, you've got hurt feelings! He's got hurt feelings! Call the Twitter police! Yeah. Common law. The real law of this land. The law that we took out to the empire and taught the world common law, and said, look, if you all stick to these simple set of rules, guess what? Everybody gets happier. Culture flourishes. everything gets so much better. Follow the fucking rules. But the politicians don't want to follow the rules, do they? The political elites, the deep state, they don't want to follow the rules. They want to enforce upon us new rules that they don't stick to. They want to say, well, there's what rules for you. These are your rules. These are our laws that we have passed for you. You can't grow cannabis. Oh, but we can. You can't do that. But we can. Because no one's going to frigging investigate us. No one's going to challenge us. You can't run frigging frauds, Ponzi schemes. But we can. One rule. One rule of law. One law in this land. And it should be common law. No other law. One law. For every single person of this land. Nobody is above the law. Not even the frigging Queen. Not even the frigging Theresa May. Nobody. And if you are found breaking that law, you will serve the punishment. You will get punished. Society. But it's how far we've gone with tiny little baby steps. That little turtle, that little tortoise, that's a representative of a certain society named after a Roman emperor who sort of put in place guerrilla tactics, who sort of put in place the step-by-step little tiny little turtle paced steps all through the decades. Next generation is a little bit worse. Next generation is a little bit less free. Next generation, a little bit less free. All the way through. That certain society that, as a farm animal and a predatory canines. The wolf in sheep's clothing. And that's... I've read the 11-point doctrine out on this show before, but I might do that in a moment as well, because it's them. It's their fault. It's their plan. It's what they want. They are the ones who have designed this mess. They are the ones that spend thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of pounds, thousands of hours debating, criticising, thinking, using psychological tactics, using MK Ultra tactics, using government think tanks and government money, your taxpayer money, to do one thing and one thing alone. Take away your freedom. Take away your rights. Take away the Constitution. That is their goal. Because once we do not have these things, they control all the law. They control all of the schools. They control every part of every bit of every section and segment of life. And it's not too far away. Because as they say, the turtle might creep along slowly to get to the lettuce. But once it gets to the lettuce, it strikes quickly. And it gets that lettuce. So we see with the Trump plan in putting dominoes in lines. In putting the dominoes in lines, so when he knocks one, they all fall. Yeah? Well, the Fabians have been putting little blocks in a line for a century now. More than. Putting these little blocks in little lines, deliberating, right, that's the best block for that. So when they finally go, nah, and knock the chain of dominoes over, it will only take a matter of moments. You'll be stood there thinking, whoa, what just happened? And by then it's too late. By then, it's too late. By then, we're in a police state. By then, we have no we have no rights. We have no control of our own lands. We have no control over what we do, what we say, anything. You're living in 1984, and it's only around the corner. It's be a bit of a downer on that one, but hey, once you see through the veneer, once you start scratching through the veneer, you'll start to see the sad chain of reality, the sad chain of events, and how methodically it's been planned. And to plan something like this with such method, such tact, such understanding of the human psyche, of the human mind, of the political game, of power in general, and to understand it that much, to develop this plan so well that, I'll read out the 11 points, and there's every single one of them is in full floor, completely rampant across this country now. So let's get the 11-point doctrine. Where's my little book? Yeah, here's my little book. Let's see the 11 points of the Fabian Society, taken from the Frankfurt School of Thought and forced down our throats. So, point one is the creation of the terminology of racism. Let's create racism. How do we create racism? Well, firstly, we will need different races. So let's import a lot of them. Yeah, let's import a lot of them. That's what we want. We want different races that don't particularly get along very well with anybody else. And then we're going to have a socialist society, because we are the Fabian socialists, of course, where these people are coming in, they're getting handouts, getting given everything from our taxpayer, everything from our purse that your forefathers has worked hard, blood, sweat and tears, and possibly even died for. They just get it for free. Because it's got to be equal. It's got to be equal, hasn't it? So, obviously, there is animosity. Racism is a human freaking trait as well. You want to be around people that are the same as you. Naturally. You want to be around people that share the same culture, the same traditions, the same sorts of thoughts and ideas. You want that. Everybody wants that. It's part of human nature. You can see it on a day-to-day basis. So when you start introducing other communities that only want to be around their community, that prefer to be around their peoples and their culture and their race, it breeds animosity. They knew this before they started doing it. All of this is by design, people. That's what hurts me the most about it. If this was just, spontaneity, sort of organic, then I wouldn't be so pissed off. But to see that it has been planned, it's been put in place, and it has one reason, and one reason alone. And that reason is to take away your freedom. So, yeah, that's the creation of racism for you from the Fabian Society, the Fabian Socialist Society. Next one. We're creating a continual change. Continual change to create confusion. Well, my town's changed. A chuffing lot, maybe a lot because of point one. But my town's changed an awful lot. The constant swing between the establishment parties of red and blue and red and blue and red and blue. This continual change of, we want to privatise everything. We want to nationalise everything. We want to privatise everything. We want to nationalise everything. You see, continual change creates confusion, creates this this bubble that we live in, where we turn ignorant. We turn ignorant to it all because it's not too hard for us to understand. They just make it rather confusing. So it makes it hard to debate and discuss among people. Next one. The teaching of sexuality to children. The teaching of homosexuality to children. Yeah, we know about that one. We can see it's blatant. It is a blatantly obvious one. They are sexualizing children on television, in the papers, everywhere, in schools. And, yeah, it's bloody disgusting. Absolutely bloody disgusting. But it's there in their doctrine, in the teachings from the Frankfurt School. And there's the meaning behind this as well. The meaning behind it is white genocide as well. Because they don't want an intelligent white race of people controlling Europe and controlling, therefore, a lot of the world. They don't want that. They don't want that at all. Next is the undermining of schools and teachers. They've not only poisoned the schools by turning them into lefty academies, where if you want to fit in, you must be a lefty. If you want to fit in, you must go with this leftist narrative, or you'll be ostracized by every other student. That's what I hear has been happening. I don't know. I've not been to a university recently. Maybe I should go for one. Go to a student union and have a few pints, see what they're talking about. We might start thinking about doing that soon as well for the show. Especially if we start doing this longer broadcasts. Because, I want to get out there. Start talking to the people. Start doing some, bit more investigative journalism. Start talking to the people in the pubs. Start talking to the students in the union. Start getting some real opinions from real people that are the real working class of this country. That aren't maybe so awake as us. That aren't, as deep down the rabbit hole as us. Maybe they're even Europhiles. Who knows? Maybe they need a bit more education whilst we're having our little conversation. But it's there. We might be heading down that road. So, yeah, to undermine the school's authority and teachers' authority. Well, you can see it in the classroom. Not been a while since I've been to a classroom, but the kids didn't respect the teachers. Even when I was at school, I didn't respect the bloody teachers. But it was part of the culture. It was part of this quiet voice at the back of you that you soon realise and you soon find out that that's the quiet voice of manipulated culture. That little voice that says, don't do that. Oh, you can say that. Or you can't say that. Oh, you can't say that. That's the voice of manipulated culture. And that's what these people have been doing. So you see it on, especially in inner city schools. How often do you see inner city schools where the children really aren't learning? They're really not learning that much at all. Yeah, might have to don like we said, don Carkey myself, get out there on the streets with a microphone, shoving it in people's faces. Some proper aggression into them. Yeah. Tell us the truth. Give us the answer. Not the lies, not the spin. Boff, boff, boff. That was spin. Tell me the truth. Yeah, that'd be fun. That would be fun. But pretty difficult to find political targets around where I am. And I don't mean targets like that. I mean targets to go on interview. Yeah. So, like I was saying, there's a culture that's being promoted that is to mock teachers, is to laugh at teachers, is to undermine teachers at school. That's how you get to be the big boy, the best. Is who can mock the teacher the most, who can make the teacher cry. But yeah, it's been promoted, and like I was saying, it's been promoted for a century. And it's been done in tiny, tiny, little, tiny baby steps. Little by little by little by little. And it's, yeah. The fifth one coincides with the first one. And that's huge mass immigration. I don't even need to talk about that one. Because migration, we all see it. We all see it as an invasion. And it's there to destroy our culture. It's there to undermine our culture. It's there to possibly replace us. And, you see on fucking adverts. Always got to have a token black guy or token black girl. Or it's got to be a mixed race family. Why? Why is it always a chuffing mixed race family? Oh, it's Cadbury's chocolate. Oh, Cadbury's fucking halal chocolate. Oh, it's got to be a mixed race couple. Or Bose headphones. Oh, it's got to be a mixed race couple. Or no. Mass immigration. 6. The promotion of excessive drinking. Binge drinking. Hasn't that become a phenomenon over the past few decades? I'm not saying, well, I've been alive for a few decades, that's it. Not saying that it wasn't rife beforehand, and it probably was rife 100 years ago as well. But you can see it in our culture. It's what we do. It's part of parcel of being British is to, at weekend, let your hair down, have a few drinks, and have a good time. Have a sing-song. That's part of being British. So, it's 50-50, that one. It's 50-50, that point, because drinking can be good for some people sometimes. Drinking can be bad for people as well. But we still want the right to choose, to have free thought and freedom of what we do. Soon you might have a chip in your hand that only allows you to buy 5 pints. You can see it coming. Or maybe even Sharia will come and say no alcohol for anyone, because we Muslims can't handle alcohol. Onto religion for number 7. Point number 7 is the emptying of the churches. Empty those churches. We don't want churches. We don't want people being brought up with the morality of Christ. We don't want that. Not at all. No. We're Antichrist Luciferians. That's what we like. That's what we want. The return of the Antichrist. Yay. So we've got to have nobody in the churches. Yay. Crazy. Yes, all religion has its downsides. All religion, in my opinion, is wrong. Sadly, that is my opinion. And the sooner we get rid of all religion, the better. But that's very globalist. That's very New World Order. We've got to demolish all religions and just have the one, which is the one that we want, and you don't get a choice in it. Whereas, yeah. But that's religion. That's a whole different set. That's a whole new episode, and one of the old ones as well. But that's point 8. I know it's taking a bit of time. This one, hey, you got point 8. Point 8. An unreliable legal system that focuses more on the offender than the victim. That's the offender's rights rather than the victim's rights. That's what it's really saying. And we see that day in, day out. Just look through a few stories on Facebook. You'll find that some child rapist has only got a 14-year sentence, of which he'll serve 7 in a jihadi training camp. Is that the law? Is that a reliable legal system? You've got some numpty, Darren Osborne. He's a numpty. He runs over, well, he ran over some people whilst one of them was having a heart attack. And he gets 40 odd years, of which he will literally do 40 odd years. And then some Muslim, because he's working in the words of Allah, goes and runs some people over, kills 3 people. Not even half the sentence. I'm not even sure if he got 15 years, but he'll serve less than 10, and he's killed 3 people. That is an unreliable legal system that blatantly has bias, and we're doing nothing about it. People, we see it day in, day out. We are accepting it because we're not because we're not smashing things because of it. We are accepting it, and the more we accept it, the more they'll pile on top of us. The more they'll pile on top of us. Either A, they do want us to have a revolution, and then they can bring in, well, the army won't. I think the army will probably be on our side. The everyday Joe Sergeant on the street might be on our side. So they want to introduce martial law. They want us completely and utterly under the thumb, completely and utterly controlled and dominated. But they want to make it look like it was our fault, that we've brought it on ourselves. Because, by crikey, they don't want to be blamed for it, do they? Point number 9, a point that's becoming more and more obvious in the past few years, and that's dependency upon the state. You know, even when Blair and Brown were in power, they were talking of broken Britain, because everybody's on welfare benefits, because they've destroyed our freaking industry, because they've destroyed our manufacturing, because they've turned us into a freaking corporate what's the crappy word for it? Service economy. The service economy. Our economy is based around serving people. Giving someone a coffee because they've worked in an office serving someone tippy-tapping on a computer. And then they've been moving money from somewhere to someone else and they've taken a cut of it. And that is not a way to run an economy. To have a service economy, open borders, and socialism, I'd say is one of the 3 defining terms to destroying a nation. To destroy a nation, you have to take away its manufacturing, so it can't build anything. It can't make anything. Can't make guns and bombs and stuff to protect itself, can it? Can't sell things to other countries. It can't. Then we've got to stuff in a service economy. So nobody really learns how to manufacture things. We only learn how to buy things and sell things to other people. So we can't build stuff. We can't really do that. We can't really import and export to our power. And then you've got the socialism. So everybody who can't get a job in this service economy, who doesn't want the sorts of jobs in the service economy, that finds it nicer and better to be living on the state rather than working like a normal human being. Like draining away the taxpayers' money. So anybody who does have to work one of these jobs that can't afford to live, that can't afford to thrive because they've only got a low-paying service job, they've got to pay their taxes to help out everybody else that can't survive in the system that they put in place. Come on, it is a guaranteed way to destroy a country. And they knew it. They knew it. They knew that this is the way to destroy a country before they implemented it, before they forced it upon us. They knew it. The CIA book, Tragedy and Hope, or Hope and Tragedy, how the deep state will use socialism to destroy countries. And a quintessential expose of that is Venezuela. Venezuela is one of the most oil-rich countries in the world. But instead of doing that, instead of pumping all the money into that, instead of, using that to base their economy on, like Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Baku, Azerbaijan, no, they decided to have a socialist economy with services. And look how that fared for them. It was all a testing ground, all a testament run to see what would happen to a country, a socialist country, once you turn the money tap off. Once you turn the money tap off, look what happens. Because people have built up this dependence upon the state. Next one. Ooh, the control and dumbing down of the people. They don't want you thinking. They don't want you talking. They don't want you listening. They don't want you to see anything. They want dumb, deaf, blind people that don't have two brain cells to rub together to question them. And through fluoride in the water, crap, that was a big conspiracy theory years ago. It's now proven fact. Now, even chlorinated. Chlorine's a bad halogen. Still going to crystallize up in the brain somewhere, somehow. And yeah, through the education system, through the stupid box in the corner of the telly, the corner of the room, the telly, how much are stupid people promoted in the media? How many stupid people do you know that are famous because they are stupid? Joe Swoggle. Some of these reality TV idiots that are put on TV to embarrass themselves so we can laugh at them, and then they think they're some sort of celebrity. But we're laughing at their stupidity, so it's actually making us more stupid and more revenant. Is that the word? More ideological of idiots. We suffer fools. How many Brits in the past would have suffered fools lightly? And yet, here we are, force-fed them on our tellies. We've got to sit there and suffer a fool. And just go, what is this guy on about? What on earth? You haven't got two freaking brain cells to rub together to try to milk that cow. Who wants to see some idiot trying to milk a cow? Because I bet you any money that has been on a television show. Some idiot trying to milk a cow. Yeah. It's all done through their control of the media. Control of the narrative. Control of culture. How long ago do you think it was when being smart was being uncool? Oh, you answered the teacher's questions correctly, relating back to some of the previous points. You're uncool. You're unpopular. You're not going to have any friends because, guess what? You're more intelligent than the other people. You know the answers to the questions. You can think critically. And you can actually even ask the questions back to a teacher to see whether they know their stuff or not. But we can't have that. We can't have that. So we're going to enforce it into our culture where being smart is being unpopular. Sadly. And then the final one, number 11. The breaking up of the family unit. The breaking up of the nuclear family. the breaking up of family cohesion, and it does relate back to all the others, the forced dependency on the state of single mothers, this culture that's promoted through the television of sex before marriage and adultery. Adultery is all right on fucking Emmerdale Farm and crap like that. You know, it's all force-fed to you. This is the way normal people live, when it's not. It's not. And the breaking up of the family unit. It's got to be quite. It's got to be rather epidemic levels now. Single-parent families. I don't often go to schools and things like that and see the true effects of it, but I'll see a lot of lonely-looking mums walking around pushing prams. I'll see that a lot. See them walking around in their frigging jammies, pushing the pram. Come on, it's a breakdown of society. It's a breakdown of the family unit. It's to make people more dependent upon the state. It's to cut breeding numbers. It's there. And it also affects a lot of the culture and a lot of the breeding habits as well. Because if the state is going to be your provider, the man is no longer needed as the provider. So it's going to start to alter gender roles. So the woman becomes more of a provider. Or the state becomes the provider. And the woman gets to be a single mother. I'm not dissing single mothers out there. You know, that's probably a chuffing difficult thing to do. And much respect to any single fathers out there. It's probably a very chuffing hard thing to do. What I'm getting at is this has been pre-planned, premeditated, and designed to hurt our birth rates, to hurt our social cohesion, to hurt our community, to force us into this method of control that they have devised. Because you can see it in social fabrics. You can see it starting to come to fruition now, where single-parent families are starting to be the norm, or families with kids from here and kids from there. That's where a lot of the bad things happen. And I don't want to tar everyone with the same brush on this one, but a lot of children from single-parent families aren't as well-rounded as people that have grown up with two parents. Scientific fact. You know, we've got to take these sort of things into account. What is the next generation going to be like? Because if we keep going down this path of ignorance, the next generation are going to be happy about being led into tyranny, like being led lambs to the slaughter. They're going to be happy about it because they're not questioning it. They're not seeing the deeper views of it. They're not seeing the points that are connecting, the dots that should be connecting. They're not seeing them, and they're accepting it. And they've been taught this way. They've been brought up this way. This is what's normal to them. And it only takes I've said it a few times, it only takes 3 generations to fully change everything. Everything can be changed over 3 generations. And we're starting to see those changes now. We're starting to see the breakdown of society. We're starting to see the folds in the fabric of society. We're starting to see the true nature of the beast. Because how many regular, everyday, normal people have heard of the Fabian Society, know about these 11 points that they've been putting into place, know about the secret societies, know about the Illuminati, know about deep state? How many of them know about it? Not that many. Enough people know there's a problem, but they know the government mandated problems. You know, immigration is a problem. It was government mandated. The government did it. The government put it in place to make you pissed off at that thing. So you're like, oh, I'm pissed off at this. I'm pissed off at that. And I am. We're pissed off at that. However, you're not seeing the people that are doing this. I'm telling you, that's what you've got to be pissed off at. That's the reason. That's the scapegoat. That's the reason. Be pissed off at that. Don't be pissed off at us for putting that in place. Don't be pissed off at us for profiting massively off it. Don't be pissed off at us. No. Be pissed off at them. Yeah, it's blaming the tool rather than the workman. And once we start to elevate people's views above the simple, methodic, everyday life, that's when they start to see things clearer. That's when they start to see things in a full context. Once you can see the reason why. Once you see who the true clowns are behind the whole of this, you start to realise why they've done it. You start to realise everything has a reason. The plans they put in place have been put in place for a reason. They've been done in this order for a reason. They've started to ramp it up now for this reason. They want to get us involved in PESCO for this reason. They want to have European police officers on our streets and European military personnel on our streets. Yes, PESCO, that's what it's there for. It's not for this attack against Russia that they blatantly know they'll lose. It's to get their police on our streets, like they did in Catalonia. So once we do start to show any signs of rebellion or revolt, they will send in the bullies. And you saw what happened to the nanas, the Catalonian nanas. Oh. But bringing it back to the Constitution. Now, that several document is the lifeblood of this country. It is the anti-venom to this poison that has come. It is. And I'll give you my view upon it. My view upon it is we have the Constitution, we have the Magna Carta, we have the Bill of Rights. All of these laws, all of these rights are inalienable. They're in concrete, in stone, done. Inalienable. However, there's a certain oath breaker who has broken all of her oaths. That is not looking out for the British people, British culture, British history, traditions, or anything British. She's all that completely. So, through Magna Carta, we can remove it. We can remove the cancer. All of it. All of it. In one fell swoop. Publicly. Show them all up for exactly who they are. I know who they are. I've done some research into them. Yeah. And they need exposing for who exactly they are, what they do, what they believe. Oh. Once that comes out, the people will want to mount their heads on spikes. It's only natural. Only natural. But the Magna Carta gives us the people the right and the power to do this. then we should have a nice new monarchy. No, well, I'll let the cat out of the bag then. Yeah, we should have a nice new one. A rightful one. Hey, even if it's not rightful, even if it doesn't have the specific blood type, we need a new one anyway. Get some fresh legs in there. Get a right British patriot in there. Me, no. Get a proper king, get a proper queen, get a proper one that's going to look out for this country and its people. Because then that king or queen can dissolve Parliament, get rid of Parliament. Once Parliament is gone completely, we have a sovereign and we have a sovereign people. We can make the real changes that we need to make. Hey, might be a dark 5 years. But at the end of it, if there's the light of freedom burning brightly at the end of that tunnel, I, for one, not going to stop till I get out the side of it and bask in the glory of freedom. But I think it's one of the reasons why all of us patriots get labelled as far right. Because I think we might just have to use sort of far right or right wing. Well, right wing and far right is freaking anarchy, for crying out loud. Yeah. But on the political spectrum, they see far right as deporting people. They see far right as imprisoning people. They see far right as controlling borders, when it's not at all. It's not far right at all. It is just right. The correct, common sense, logical thing to do. We've got people that have smuggled themselves into this country illegally. What are we going to do? Get rid of them. Not rocket science. We've got people that don't deserve to be in this country, that have committed crimes in this country. Get rid of them. And that's only the start. That's only the start. Because we all know what's going to happen once we start to take back control of this country and get things running Britishly and properly and done well in the British fashion. Things are going to start kicking off left, right and centre. It's going to be, I hate to predict the future on this one, but there's a certain community out there that is not going to be happy when we Britify our country again. When we all get together and say, this is Britain. This is what we want. This is who we are. This is our heart of hearts on our sleeve. This is what we want. Not this. Not that. Not the other. This. I know. It's going to take us a while to get there. And it's going to take us a fucking long while to discuss and debate what this Britishness, British pride actually is. But step by step, we've got to get back control of this country. We've got to wrestle our country out of the hands of the Europeans first. Then we've got to wrestle wrestle the country out of the hands of the deep state. But which one would be first? The establishment, the state, or the deep state? It's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. But certain things need to be put in place. Certain protections do need to be put in place for us to start heading more further down this pathway to this goal. And that's like we said, discussed earlier on the Daily Chaos. I got it right that time. With Alexander, is that we do need an internet bill of rights. We need to be protected inalienably for saying what we want, when we want, why we want, for how we want, with whatever wording we want upon the internet. I want to be able to go to the pub of internet goodness and say whatever the fuck I want. I want to be able to say, I don't like them because of this. I can prove this with this, this, and this. Whereas the internet nowadays is anti-debate. You're not allowed to do that. You can't approach a problem with method, freaking motive, and logic. You can't do that. You can't say this is a problem. This is the reason we have this problem. This is the solution to the problem. Debate me. Because, yeah, you'll get, yeah, you'll get kicked off their platform. Whereas, you know, we've got new platforms coming up there almost freaking monthly now, you know, Gab, Minds, BitChute, DTube, Infinity SN's coming soon, hopefully, we don't know. Because I want to get off Facebook. Chuffing out Facebook. It's banned me so many times. And I hate that little rat bag that's in charge. Little lying scumbag Toad. Yeah, get rid of him. But, yeah. So if we had... But having an internet Bill of Rights, we've already got the Bill of Rights. We've already got this inalienable protection of our freedom of speech, our freedom of critique, our freedom of expression. We have it. Why do we need a new one for the internet? We fucking don't. We just need to put the... Well, I'm getting worked up now. We just need to put this one in place and say, yes, you have the freedom. It's there. It's wrote down. It was passed in fucking... What was it? 1685? Was it 1685 or 1865? I'm not so good with numbers and stuff. Well, I'm quite good with numbers and stuff, but dates, no, not too good at that. But we have them. They're already in place. And we were the pioneers to get them. But they've tried to dumb us down so much, tried to subvert the Constitution so much, and our Bill of Rights, that the majority of people nowadays have no idea, have no clue whatsoever about their rights. You know, it's madness, utter madness. You know, you see little snippets of it. You'll see a little snippet here and there on Facebook of maybe somebody, like the guy that was on a bicycle, and the police stopped him. And he's just like, well, no, I'm not forming a contract with you. I don't have to give you my details. No, stuff you. I'm not forming a contract with you. You do not have my consent. Bye-bye. That's your rights. But how many people have been programmed to say, oh, yes, my name is, these are my details, I must respect your authority. And then you've got the other CUNTs on the other side of the spectrum that go, start giving it the whole high and mighty freaking sing-song about, oh, you've got no right to do this to me. Well, occasionally they do. Occasionally. And it seems to be on the occasions when they do have the right to question them and to stop and search them, they start getting all gobby. And, well, yeah, I'll touch on policing for a second here as well, because it's something that's also cultural. You know, if you've been brought up and brainwashed and brain-fed that the police are against you, the police are going to arrest you just because you're a certain colour, guess what? You're going to have a certain attitude towards that police officer, aren't you? You're going to be gobby to that police officer, and you're not going to show him the respect that he deserves. So guess what? You're probably going to end up in cuffs. You're going to probably end up being charged. Then you probably end up going to court, and you'll probably be a gobby person in court as well. And guess what? Off to prison you'll go. Whereas, well, some people are rather more educated and are taught their rights and are told their rights by their parents. You know, if I had a child, I would be teaching it lots. I'd have a right little, yeah. I'd have a right little rebel, me. proper little rebel. I'd be struggling to control my little rebel. But yeah, it's one of those you can't talk about. Yeah, been lectured from a friend. You can't talk about parenthood until you're a parent because you don't know what it's been like. You cannot imagine what it's like because owning a dog is not quite like having a child. Not quite, but yeah. And where was I? Oh. Yeah. Yeah, the Constitution. The Constitution literally says that a lot of the laws and the legalese and the statutes and the policies that have been passed by this treasonous government are completely and utterly unlawful. How can a law be unlawful? It's true. It's true. It's completely utterly true. Since the government took us into the ECA, into the European Union, into the European communities, bollocks, every law that's been passed ever since then has been against our constitution. They let a foreign pilot, prince, or power dictate our laws. Unconstitutional, treasonous, and they knew about it. What can we say? So that's every single law that's been passed since 1973 is completely and utterly unconstitutional. Because no law can be passed from the fruit of a rotten tree or something like that. No law can be passed when there's deceit in Parliament. I think it's the same things happening with America and the Obama. Because Obama could not have been a president. He was not a Native American. He wasn't born in America. You can't be a president. I can't be president of the United States because I'm not American. So neither can he. So every law that he's passed is completely and utterly unconstitutional. Has to be thrown away. Obamacare, thrown away. Freaking DACA, thrown away. All this crap, all the shit that he did, thrown away. The Iran deal that's come up into the news recently, thrown away. He wasn't president. He was illegitimate. Same with our parliament. Our parliament is completely and utterly illegitimate, tyrannous, fraudulent, and should have been abolished a long time ago. Well, not abolished. What's that word? Not dismantled. Dissolved. No, to get it. Dissolved a long time ago. We should never have joined the European Union. It's fact. Fact. We should never have joined. It's against our constitution. And the Lords should have protected us from it, but they've been neutered. The Queen should have protected us from it, but she has been neutered as well. Yeah, well, she won't stand up for Britain anyway. She's a European citizen now. And she was more interested in the affairs of Europe and Germany rather than the affairs of Britain. Sadly, yeah, it's true. She's more of a globalist than anything else. She perches upon the top of that fucking pyramid and spits down at the people below. There's only a few that are higher than her. She's the head of the Masons, I believe. And they're they're nefarious terms. We've gone through Masons and Luciferianism and stuff like that on previous shows. So back to the Constitution, and we'll be wrapping it up quite soon as well. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for commenting. Quite good. Quite a good few comments, yeah. Aye. So, Constitution is the solution. It is. It is what is going to save us from this mess. It is. It is what's going to save us. It can give power to the people, and the people need the power. That is it. It's that basic. It's that simple. It's that simple. I don't need to, because I'm not a constitutional expert. I know the ins and outs of it. I know what it does for us. I know it gives us the right to say, hey, we're not having it anymore. Stuff you. Let's all get together and say stuff you together. Because once we do that, we win. They're going to try and use every avenue, every tool possible to the establishment, to the deep state, to stop it from happening. But the 23rd of June should be a big day. Should be a really big day. A day that will be remembered forever in British politics. If we make it right. If enough of us get out there. Even if you can't get down to London, get to a big city near you. Get to Manchester. Get to Liverpool. Get to Leeds. Get to Milton Keynes, Sheffield. Get to these places. And turn it into a party zone. I'm not saying we should be out there going, brr, brr, bad government. Brr. No, we should be going out there saying independence. This is British Independence Day. Way! Let's be British. Let's have our independence. And let's say, hey, government, independence now. Now. Do it now. We don't have to come shouting at you. We don't have to. You've got to do as we say. You're our servants. Do as we say. And if they don't, we get rid of them. Bish, bash, bosh. And if we only have to get if we have to get rid of them by staying there for a week, let's stay there for a week. If we have to get rid of them by, I don't know, more underhanded terms and more underhanded ways, by releasing evidence of them to the press, or forcing them to have our own conversations. I'd love to be there with a microphone saying, friggin', answer this question now. Answer this question now. Answer it friggin' truthfully. Have them in a court, friggin' hold them up in a court of law where they have to swear to tell the truth. And if they don't tell the chuffing truth, we get them on a freaking lie detector. Yeah, polygraph them in the freaking courtroom. Cameras labelled everywhere. Put out on the BBC. Let's see what they've truly been doing. Let's see what they've been up to properly. Have you been trafficking children? No. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, there we go. Obviously lying. Yeah. And I believe that's one of the only ways we can really do it, is to fully expose them for who they are, what they are, with lie detector tests and stuff like that. It's logical. It's common sense. If they can't hold up to an interview in a court of law under truth, under oath, which I think all of them are oath breakers, so they're going to have to be polygraphed to make sure they don't break their oath and they don't break the truth. And they don't, yeah. So, yeah. We just need to get out there on the 23rd. 23rd of June. 23rd of June, the anniversary of our independence. When Brexit should have meant Brexit, should have meant done, dusted, done. That's it. We gave them this time. They've been kicking the can down the road. No, remain. We need to say, no. And, yeah. I think that's it for everybody. About an hour and a half. It'll do. So thank you very much. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you all of my guests for joining in as well. It's been me on my own little rant on my own little escapade. Hope you all enjoyed it. Yeah, please put comments, likes, notifications and stuff like that. And yeah, See you all tomorrow. Not so sure what we're going to be doing, but we'll figure it out. Maybe some more Constitution stuff. Maybe with some sort of expert who knows a bit more than I do. Take care, y'all. Bye.